Yo guys, hope everyone's doing well. I'm just gonna wait a few minutes before I start the stream. Just updating the Discord with all the news events for this week and stuff. Got quite a bit of news, to be fair. I'm just gonna wait a few more minutes and then I'll start going through pairs and stuff. I'm gonna start in about a couple minutes. Guys, if you have any questions, drop it in the chat. I'll go through all the questions and stuff like that, and pairs, whatever pairs you want me to have a look at, just put the time frame to. I don't know if anyone's here yet or not. I think I fell in love. I'll literally do it in 2-3 more minutes. I'm just watching a video on my phone. Alright, that was interesting. That was really interesting. Right, I'm gonna knock this out now then. So DXY. What can we see in the DXY? Obviously, we were quite bearish, weren't we, over the last few months, to be fair. It's pretty much since the start of the year, actually. If we go pre-January, which is about there, we were quite bullish. Then we had obviously a range for a few months. I think you'll see how many months it was. Oh wow, it was more like a couple of years, to be fair. A couple of year worth of a range. Then obviously start to kick back out of that again, and then obviously that was all of that was because obviously the elections and stuff like that. And then obviously Trump come in, got his inauguration. Obviously there's hints about what's it's called again. There's hints about tariffs and stuff like that. Obviously fell the dollar down a bit. And then here's where we are now. So recently we are quite bearish on the DXY, to be fair. Now recently we have seen good data come out, and I wouldn't say good data, I'd say the FOMC speech from Jerome Powell, it's given support to the dollar I'd say intraday, but short-term support. Now obviously we did break this potential resistance level right here, which was the 97.6 to 97.9 ish level, and I did say that if we break there, the next level of resistance is going to be the level above, which is 98.5 to 98.83, so say 98.85. Price comes straight in there, rejected at 98.605. Find that interesting. The next day obviously bearish. So on the DXY, I am still neutral to bearish unless we get a break test, and then I would say, right, if we break structure here again, I'd say okay, odds are we are now shifting back up to that 100 level. So then I would say the next level of potential resistance is gonna be around here, which is obviously 95.5 up to 100.2. So that's kind of what I'm looking at as the next key level if we break that and come to the upper side. Now, if we don't get this occurring, then I would like to see price come back down, test this level. If it does that, go back up into this level again. So you've got this option here. If price comes down, test this level again of 97.9, then we can get back into longs again up to this level of 98.5. Now if we come down, break, test, break structure on the lower side from there, then I would come back into these lower levels again. Now what do I think is most likely? I don't know what the market's gonna do. I really don't. You just have to plan all the potential things the market could do and just adapt to them when they occur. So for me, my mentality on this is quite simple. Be adaptable. That's kind of my mentality. Look at these levels, get all the plans in my mind, right? If this happens, that happens, etc, etc. Aim to be in the position to do such and such. So if price does this, I'm going to start saying, right, I'm more neutral to bullish on the DXY. Short term, in the long term, I'm still quite bearish because the economy is not looking good. Jobs data is not looking good. Inflation is not looking good. The only saving grace that the USA has had is the growth metrics in terms of services, PMI, PCE, GDP. They've kind of come out relatively okay for the pound, for the USD, sorry. But the unemployment, the unemployment claims, unemployment rate, and the inflation is not looking good at all for the USA. Now we might get one or two good prints and everyone might say, right, okay, we're out of that neutral to bearish read. For me, I'm not so quick to switch biases like that. I'd need to see at least 2-3 solid prints on employment for me to say, right, okay, things aren't as bad as what they are. The rate cuts are coming slowly. If we see the growth picking up as it is, If you see inflation kind of hovering around the level where it is, slightly high, that's okay. And then we see the employment pick up, then that's just going to give support to the dollar. And then I'm going to look for more of this scenario here. Because you got NFP week this week, everyone's waiting for the unemployment claims. And JOLTS job openings are going to be interesting as well, because there's a lot of low hiring, high firing rate, or whatever you call it. Low hiring, low firing, I think it was that Jerome Powell said. So we need to see what's going to happen with the JOLTS. If you see more jobs coming out, that looks good. If you see even further reduction of jobs, we're going to see a concern where there just isn't going to be enough jobs for those unemployed people, if that makes sense. That's going to be concerning. So I think that this week's going to be interesting with NFP. If we get a solid print on NFP, then I am really confident this is going to occur, where we get that break above that 98.8 level, get a test, and then you might fly all the way back up to 100. Maybe even the next upper bound of around 101 to 102. That might be possible. But obviously NFP is going to be a big catalyst for that, isn't it? Now, if we see NFP come out and the jobs data comes out worse than forecasted, then obviously we're just gonna get this price coming down, break testing, and then coming down to the further side again, having another attempt at making another potential lower low. And if it comes out as forecasted is technically good for the USD, because it's what they're expecting. If it's a shock, that's where you get market movement. If everything's coming within forecast, it means that they've kind of already assessed that that could happen. That could be where the data is going to be, and they kind of already planned for that, which is okay for the economy. So for me, I'm just going to sit, wait, and be adaptable when we get the data coming out. In terms of trading, I look to trade Monday, Tuesday, and NFP week, and I just sit and watch the rest of the week. If I get a premium setup with no invalidations, I'm willing to take that trade. Even if it is Friday morning on an FP, I'm happy to take that trade, because the point is, if the trade's there and the trade's valid, you should take it. If anything invalidates it, fine, don't take that trade. But for me, I don't really trade before news anyway, at least 30 minutes before. Anything after that, I don't trade within that 30-minute time frame of news. So for me, if the setup occurs in that time frame or outside of that time frame, or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to take that trade. So that's kind of what I'm looking for in the DXY anyway. So I hope that kind of helps you guys out. Now let's go to Euro USD then. In terms of the euro, obviously if we're stuck in this little scenario here on DXY, naturally we're gonna have that same response on Euro USD as well. But what we are seeing is on the daily chart, from the low to the high, we are coming back and testing off at that 0.5 fib level, which I find interesting. And if you just look at price here, we were stuck in this area for a relatively long time. Relatively long time indeed. Why does it not just do a straight line? There. Relatively long time indeed. Now, if I was to just check how long it was that we were stuck in this level here, we were stuck here for about 42 days. Now I find that interesting. We're stuck in a range for 42 days. We broke that range, come literally tested in the middle of that range pretty much, and now we're seeing bullish reaction. That to me is really interesting. Now, as I said, if we see bad NFP, naturally EURUSD is going to fly back up there, test these levels again. The 1.191 level, I think that's very, very possible. 150%, I think that's very, very possible. And now on the 4-hour chart, we are obviously still seeing bullish momentum and stuff. Obviously, we have seen a few days of weakness, but that's because of the FOMC, what Jerome Powell said, and then we had a couple good news events like GDP, for example, giving support to the dollar in terms of the short term. So for me, I see it as we had a little channel right here pretty much, and then we've just kind of had this right here, this channel right here. We've just broke down, kind of mitigated that channel, I'd call it, and then starting to show bullish momentum. So for me, it looks good to think about taking buys, but obviously with me, I trade the lower time frames, so I need confirmation on M1, M5, M15, find out what's going on with the market. Now, if you did want to short this, you do have this supply zone right here, so you could short it from here if price comes in. take a short from there. That looks like a good opportunity back into the 618, maybe even the 786 level. You got the opportunity there. Now obviously if price does come up and break that level, we do have another opportunity right here, and if it breaks that level again, odds are DXY is gonna then be coming up, as I said, breaking this level, testing it, coming up again to the high side. That's kind of a disgusting drawing, isn't it? So kind of a break, test, and then push up again. So we've got to think about, if euro is doing one thing, if euro is doing pushes to the upside, and naturally we're gonna wait a second, I've got that wrong. If we're gonna get euro doing pushes to the upside, it's gonna be the case where DXY is pushing to the downside. So we're gonna be seeing this sort of momentum from the DXY if the euro is going up. Now vice versa, if we're going down on the euro USD, that's when we're gonna get the DXY probably doing something like this, coming back up to these higher levels. So as I said, you just need to sit and adapt, see what the market does, and then just kind of see where we go from there. So I said, but markets, you see, I've just analyzed DXY and I'm looking at Euro USD. If you want me to go over a certain pair for you, just drop the pair in the chat and what time frame you want me to go over. Okay, dude? Thank you. Okay, so that's kind of the issue we got there then. So as I said, we got potential supply demand zones right here. We've got another one over here, and then we've got another one over here. Now you've got a few attempts in getting in shorts from these zones here. Now at the same time, we got an opportunity to get into longs. Oh, we got opportunity to get into longs into these levels. So for example, if price does something like this and then it taps into this demand zone and then break structure there, we could hold that trade into here, see if we get confirmation, and then short back down to these levels again. That might be Tuesday, Wednesday, depending how the market's going and stuff. You just have to be reactive to the market. So you got a couple opportunities there. Now if price does continue to keep going down, I really don't see it going down too far, because as I said earlier, we are kind of just testing back into this range again, and they've just had that 50% mitigation of this range right here. So for me, I find it interesting that we're bouncing straight off of that fib level of 0.5 from this low to this high, just as we broke out of this range right here, which bear in mind was all the way from the 7th of August, 6th of August, all the way through to September the 12th. So about 6 weeks. About 6 weeks of price action, possibly. So I find that rather interesting that price has actually done that. Now, obviously, going back to the 4-hour time frame again, if you trade supply demand, you've got this demand zone here that wasn't tagged into. So you could wait for price to come down into this level, take a trade from there. Actually, price did tag it, so you might not get an entry on there. So you could turn around and say this might be your level to get into an opportunity, but this demand zone, it's not broke structure or anything like that. It doesn't have any relevance. So for me, I would wait for something more better. Now I like the look at this level here. This level right there looks really nice. It lines up with the 618 on the fib as well, which is beautiful. Now that would be a better level for me to say to get into longs on the Euro USD on the 4-hour time frame, even the 1-hour time frame, because price might want to come into deeper levels of this channel right here. So it might want to come into a deeper level, test that 618. If you get bullish confirmation, then hit the longs back into this high. See if you get shorts coming in. If you don't, keep holding that trade longer. Obviously, this is all dependent on what the DXY does. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on the Euro USD on the 4-hour time frame. And the only other demand zone we have after this is really gonna be this one right here. If we break this level, I'd wait for it to come to this swing low right here and then see what price action does at this swing low right here. So you've got a few different opportunities. Now you don't have to wait for price to come to that zone to take a trade. You can trade into that zone. seek confirmation to then signify if that's going to give you the reversal that you're looking for. You don't have to always sit there and wait for the perfect price action. You can trade price into these zones. Now on the 1 hour time frame, very similar situation, very similar. If you're looking at M15 intraday, what I would say is between this swing, this low to this high, what I could say is that we are in a we're at around 50% level there right now. What I do like is on the 15-minute time frame, we did come out and take this low here, which I think was a weekly low, so obviously there's going to be a lot of movement in price right there. And if you look, we did have a nice bullish day on Friday, to be fair, on Euro USD. So that low being taken is kind of interesting because it's giving this nice lovely reaction right here. Now when the market opens, we need to see what's it gonna do. Is it gonna open up high? Is it gonna open up low? And then how's London session gonna look to find out what is Asia doing? Is Asia giving us direction? Is it not giving us direction? We just gotta wait and see what happens. So on the M15, I can't find a clean zone to get into an entry just because price is a little bit condensed. I would probably say if you're looking for longs, you could probably get into something. Can't find it on the M15. Nah, can't find anything clean on there. The only thing I could say is wait for price to come up in to this level here, because this is where we had that massive news event, wasn't it, from GDP, I think. So you could wait for price to come up to this level here, then potentially get into shorts again. That's a 30-minute supply zone within that 4-hour supply zone over there. If that fails, you've got this supply zone here, which is the high of the day, to be honest. That was the high of the day there. I don't know why it's not letting me pick the top of the wick. You could potentially short from these two levels. So because you can short from there, quite naturally you can buy up to those levels. So you got options there to buy into there, short from there. Okay, let's get rid of all of that. And now let's go to GBPUSD. So obviously we're seeing a similar situation with GBPUSD as well. Between this low to this high, we have made a lower high right there, just because the pound is looking a lot weaker than the euro is, unfortunately. So if we just go to the settings, stick reversal on there, you can see we come right into that 786 level, tap it into that daily supply zone right there, and then we've had a huge sell-off, haven't we, to be fair. That wick to the upside is insane. Look at that huge wick. I bet that looks like a 60 pip wick or something insane. Nope, I was wrong. 81 pip wick. That is huge. And then the next day, what do we see? We see a 126 pip drop. Day after that, we see another 96 pip drop, and then 2 days of recovery before falling even further. So I am more bearish on the pound than I am the euro, because the pound's going through some difficult times right now. Fundamentally, that is anyway. So for me, it's not looking good on the pound. We are coming into the lower level, obviously. So for me on here, what I'd like to be looking at, as I said, on euro, we kind of swept this low here. I had a nice reaction off of there. But I'm still thinking shorts are going to be the way, to be honest. So you got shorts from here. You got shorts from this level over here. This level over here. And then you've got potentially shorts from this level over here as well. So we could trade into this level. And if we get really extended, you could trade into that level there. So you got a few options there, to be fair. What do I think is likely? Realistically, I think that this level is more likely to get tagged into and then drop down. I think that's quite likely. Bear in mind, obviously, you have to look at what the DXY does. If the DXY is weakening, obviously, you're going to see price pushing higher. If you see the DXY strengthening, it's obviously going to be falling lower and lower. So you could use these supply zones as zones to react from and trade up to and from. Okay, and then if you go on the 1 hour time frame, very similar story again. That zone there, that zone there, that zone there, very similar story. Obviously had the reaction from this low down here. So going on to the M15, let's just go back to H4 for a second. We can't take any longs from anywhere at the moment. You could say you could potentially get into a long from this low here, but I don't like the look of that, to be honest, just because that low was right at the end of the day. I don't like that. Whereas these highs are normally in London Open or New York Open, so it's kind of like a meaningful time where these supply zones are being created. If you're a supply demand trader, I like supply demand. I think if you know how to use it and how to spot a good zone versus a bad zone, it's got value there. So going to the 1 hour, actually we've done 1 hour, so I'll go 15 minute. So what we can see in the 15 minute is from this low to this high. So if we just say probably go the other way, to be fair. If we're going to make a lower high, it's going to be around the 618 to the 786 level. Now, are we seeing anything interesting in these levels? I am not so sure. Between the 618, we do have a nice supply zone right here, actually. So that looks like a nice level to short from if we're going to make a lower high, intraday wise. Now, obviously, we need to see what the market does when it opens. We do have a nice little demand zone sat right here as well. So if price comes into this level, gives confirmation, you could take longs up to this level at least. See how price is reacting here. If it's giving bullish momentum, keep holding it up to the 786 level, maybe even slightly higher, and then we might start getting exhaustion in the market if the pound is still kind of falling off a cliff. Because to be honest, I'm not confident on the pound. I love trading GBP pairs, but things are definitely looking sticky for the pound. Now, obviously, if price opens bullish and we see price coming into the supply level, then we can take a short all the way back down here. So you've got a few opportunities, buys to shorts, supplies to demands to supply. We've got a few opportunities out on the intraday perspective on the M15 time frame. Obviously, we got the perspective on the 4 hour and the daily time frame as well, which isn't so, how can I say it? It's signaling shorts, but if you trade 4 hour and daily, you probably want to wait for price to come into these levels and then get confirmation on M15 or the 1 hour time frame to potentially get into those shorts, because you're going to have big zones and big stops anyway, so it's going to be hard for you to trade into those zones unless you're an intraday trader. Hence why I was looking at M15 for people, because M15 and 30 minute are quite similar, 1 hour and 4 hour are quite similar. Now let's look at the next pair, which would be GBPCHF, one of my favorite pairs, but recently it's been a bit meh. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just been a bit meh. So let's just lock that down there, go to the settings, flick that onto reverse. So because the pound's weakening, the Swiss franc is becoming really strong, I think we are quite bearish on the intraday side of it. If you look at the 4 hour, if you go on M15, that's going to be clearly bearish. If you go on 4 hour and zoom out, we're clearly bearish. So for me, shorts are the way to go on GBPCHF. We've also built quite a lot of channels and stuff as well. Just look at this channel right here being built up right there, and then even here we had a channel. We kind of broke out, took that channel there, dropped down, created a supply zone, come back into the supply zone, dropped down, created another supply zone, come into that supply zone. We did take out this high, well, this high right here, then we dropped again. So sellers are in the market, shorts look good. It looks kind of obvious and clear to me from there anyway. So what I would like to see is ideally price come up, take out this level, and then break structure, creating a new supply zone, wait for price to come back into this level, correctively creating a channel, tag into there and just melt through that channel again. It'd be beautiful. It'd be absolutely beautiful. You're going to get demand traders trying to get into buys from here. They're going to get absolutely annihilated because the market is clearly showing bearishness. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Now, that's on the higher time frame. Now, let's go to the 1 hour. Is going to be very similar. See, very similar. More detailed, but very, very similar. M15 time frame. Okay, so on this we are seeing the same thing. To be fair, we are seeing a very similar case with the market, but to be honest, because on the lower time frame you can kind of see what is M5 M1 doing up to these levels. So you've got this supply zone right here, but then news came whipped into it as well, so I'm not too sure. I think we could still kind of use this supply zone, see how price comes into it. Do we get confirmation for shorts? Yes, take it. No, don't. Wait for it. Be patient. Patience is going to be a big thing. Now if you want to look for longs, we did just tag into a demand zone on the M15 here. It is kind of important because this demand zone here did kind of break this structure there. And on a M5 lower time frame, you're gonna have a high low, high low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, potentially higher low into this zone here. We got a few different options right there, to be honest, man. We got a few different options. So for me, what would I prefer? I'm not really looking at GBPCHF at the moment just because I don't like how the pair's been moving recently. Shorts are the way to go for sure. For me, I would want to see price take out this high into this supply zone, then get into a short intraday perspective. Ride that if you can. I normally trade London session only, so I'm in and out the market after about an hour, hour and a half. I don't really have trades longer than that, to be honest. So yeah, and if you wanted to get into longs, you do have a level down here. This looks like a nice little level to potentially get into longs. If we get price coming down there, then yeah, sure, we can get straight into longs from there, targeting this supply zone and then seeing if you fail there. If you don't fail, then obviously you got the rest of this channel here. You have a supply zone right here that we could potentially target. So if we get a failure of that supply zone, target into that supply zone, see what happens from there. Obviously you could take longs into that level as well. That's completely valid. So you got a few different opportunities there. Now let's go to the next pair. We look at gold later on, and I want to look at GBPJPY right now. On the daily, right, what are we seeing? It's interesting. I'm going the weekly actually. I think weekly be better. So it's interesting, this is because we were stuck under 200 for so long. This is the weekly time frame. We were stuck here for absolute ages, but then in April we see a build up, pull back, push into the upside, wick on the downside, wick on the downside, wick on the top side, wick on the downside, wick on the top side. We're just struggling around this level right here. So that is the 196 to 201 level on the weekly time frame. But with the way we closed this week, nice bullish candle. I like the look of that candle. Looks nice to me. We're not falling off these levels where we did before. Here we fell off. Here we fell off. Here we fell off again. So we're starting to see that price is really building momentum to the upside in this 201 level. Now let's go to the daily time frames. You can see it just a little bit better. Now for my perspective, I'm just seeing it as build up of a channel, push down, taking out these lows, breaking structure to the upside, correctively, we're going up correctively, we pushed down, failed to make any type of low, consolidated, pushed up again, breaking structure there, dropped down, didn't take out these lows, and we're coming back up to that level again. So to me, it's showing that the pound yen is still got opportunity for longs, but here's the but. The CHF and yen are safe haven currencies. The CHF is the only currency that's neutral right now in terms of inflation, 0% inflation rate. The yen is talking about doing rate hikes. That is not good. If they're thinking about doing that, that's going to kind of take away that safe haven currency status again has. So if we're on a risk off market, the yen rallies, the Swiss franc rallies. If we're on a risk on market, they both fall off a cliff because everyone puts their money in the euro, everyone puts their money in the dollar, everyone takes their money out of gold, they put it into crypto. So it's just making me think that if the yen is really considering rate hikes, is going to change the dynamic of how the yen is going to be traded, how it's going to be viewed and stuff. It's no longer going to be the known safe haven currency it is. And that's kind of why the CHF is so strong, because everyone's starting to go and flock to the CHF because of its neutrality. Now, we see the difference between GBPJPY on the daily and the CHF. So if you just look at the CHF, we're falling, and then the yen, we're flying. So we're seeing that clear divergence, to be fair, which I think is really interesting. So I think that we're coming into interesting levels. We're coming to levels with buyers being in control on the daily time frame. It looks good to me, to be honest, to stay with the long bias. 4-hour time frame, same sort of story again. From this low to this high. So if we just get this low to this high here, I think that it'd be nice to get a bit of a pullback, not to this low. I would probably say if I was to get into longs on the 4-hour, this little channel going on here as well, haven't we? We just tapped into the supply zone here also. I'd like to see what happens here. If we see bullish price action and we see test of this 201.2 level, I'd wait to see what happens. Are we gonna take that 201.26 level? Are we gonna get a strong bullish candle above this level, or are we gonna get a candle with a huge wick? That looks disgusting. I'm so sorry. That looks really bad. Yeah. Or are we gonna get a candle with the big wick on the upside? If you get a candle with the big wick on the upside on the daily or something like that, or the 4 hours, just showing that we really can't break that level, let's get back into shorts, back into these levels again. Potentially make a higher low around the 786 level. Looks like a nice place to me. I mean, we did kind of make it here, but I think because you got this little channel here, I'm expecting price to kind of take that channel out, make a high, probably a lower low, but for me, I would class that as a higher low, to be fair. It depends. If we come up and break structure here, then you can say this is the high low, making the higher high, and then you could grab the fib from this low to the new high, and then obviously you could look at the pullback to the 786 level there. But if we don't break this level and we have this situation where price comes up, comes into the level, flies all the way back down here again, I think we can then say this supply zone might fail, this supply zone might fail, and this supply zone over here might potentially fail as well. So I am kind of sitting on the sidelines, but I'm more bullish on GJ, just because I think there is a possibility we can just break that level. I think we can do it for sure. 1 hour, pretty much the same thing. And if you go on M15, we've got more clarity. So we go on M30, actually, just to see a bit more price action. On M30, we got demand zone right here. If you want to take those longs, you got the supply zone right here. So if price comes down into this level, then we get bullish confirmation, take longs into the supply zone, see what's happening. Are we going to hold that level? Are we going to break that level? You can obviously take buys into that level or shorts down to this level. Now, if this level fails and price comes further down, that's okay, no problem at all. Just because we do have a low right here that didn't actually touch this demand zone from the looks of it. So I would say let's potentially get into longs from this level here. If price continues to fall, see what we get here, and then try and come back into these levels again. So you got a few different opportunities there. Obviously, NFP is going to affect the yen, it's going to affect the pound, it affects loads of currencies, so got a few opportunities down the pound yen. Okay, let's have a look at gold. Gold on a ripper, always on a ripper. Now, for me, I was saying that gold is going to go to the... let's just set that to the 3800 level, because that's kind of the level I'm expecting gold to go to. That's where the level is I'm expecting gold to be. And I think it's going to hit it on Friday. I got a feeling it's going to end up hitting it on Friday unless we get some seriously bullish news. If you get some crazy bullish momentum, then yeah, we could do it sooner, that's for sure. Let me just drag this fib up to here because that's going to be for the daily chart. I'm going to just bring that to the most recent level right here on the daily chart. Now on the 4 hour, you could kind of say you'd use this low to this high, but there is a nice little key area right here. I did draw it out, didn't I? Oh no, I must have deleted it. Oh no. We did find kind of some short-term intraday support right here. So I think that's going to be an interesting level if you go from this swing low to this swing high. I think it sits around the... let's just take it from here. It sits on the 382 level, which is known as the pullback level on the fib. Lines up with the key area right there. Looks great to get into longs. If you did, you'd be laughing because you'd have had a nice reaction from there. So I do like the look of that level, to be honest. Right there to there, beautiful. And if you were to bring it over here to this level, then it kind of sits more between the 0.5 level. But for me, both of these are good because the fib lines up with the 0.5 and 0.382, and on this level it lines up with the 382 anyway, so both kind of work out fine for me, no problem at all with them. So okay, if you wanted to get into longs, you could potentially wait for price to come to this level here again, because you are kind of finding short-term intraday support right there. On the 4 hour time frame. If you wanted to short it, I'd short it on the lower time frame. So let's go to M30, just because I think you're gonna get more price to see if that makes sense. We've got a nice little demand zone right here. And then we got obviously the highs right up here at the top. Now for me, when gold is bullish, don't try to call the top, just keep riding it. Don't try to call the top. Buy any pullback, let it come to any demand zone, hit along, stay in that trade. Any key area, any support level, hit along there, hold that trade, because we got NFP week. If the jobs data comes out bad, gold is gonna fly up off of there. If the jobs data comes out good, gold is probably still gonna fly up there, because all it does is give the Fed more reason to cut rates because the economy is stabling out to control inflation. So if inflation is coming out of control and growth is picking up, employment is picking up, they could do a rate cut with the positive perspective. Rate cut is obviously good for gold. So it's just one of those things where gold is going to love whatever happens, whether you get cuts, whether you get good data, bad data, gold is going to love it regardless. So you could wait for price to come down here, get bullish confirmation, hit along back into these highs again. As I said, I like the look of that 3800 level right there. I like the look of that. And then obviously if we get it where price kind of on the market open pulls into this supply level here, then you could potentially get into some shorts into this demand zone. If this demand zone fails, wait for this key area. If you get confirmation, target back into these highs again. So you got shorts there, you got longs there on the lower time frame, you got the opportunity on the higher time frame also. So yeah, that's pretty much me done, guys. Unless you guys got any questions about any pairs you want me to have a look at or anything on the lower time frame, higher time frame, whatever it is, just drop it in the chat and I'm happy to have a look at it for you guys. Bitcoin, yes. Okay, what time frame do you want to have a look at Bitcoin at? BTC USD. I don't normally trade Bitcoin, but it works on the higher time frame anyway. Key levels and stuff. 4 hour. Okay, sure. Let's start with the daily anyway then. I think I might have markings on Bitcoin on this chart. Oh, was that something? Yeah, there was something there. Oh, 1 second. So BTC USD, I think I did have something drawn out here perfectly. Yes. So obviously on here we did have this key level right here, which has been really important within Bitcoin, to be fair. I'm just going to drag this all the way out till the end of October. There we go. So on the daily time frame, yeah, obviously we got this resistance level right here. Price came up, didn't fail to, you know, we just made a high there, come up there, tested that high again, fell off there, come up here, tested that high, fell off again, tested the high, fell off again, consolidated here, broke, retested, and then kind of did a bullish move, coming back in for a test again. So for me, this level's interesting just because it was support, resistance, broke, test, made support, price gave reaction, coming back into that 4 hour, coming into that level again. And also we've got a daily demand zone right here. Now for me on the 4 hour time frame, John, what I'm thinking is I like the look of, we've kind of built a channel here, right? Kind of a channel, and then we kind of flew through that channel into this key area here. And I like to trade supply and demand, but there isn't any sort of clean supply zone because lower high made a lower low, lower high made a lower low, made a higher high, made a higher low, broke structured there, price tagged back into it. So I couldn't really trade from that level. But what I would say is you got these lows right here. If price comes down, takes out these lows, and you can get some type of confirmation on the 1 hour or 15 minute of like buyers stepping into the market or something, whether you get bullish price action, whether you break structure once. I prefer breaking structure twice, then pulling back into some type of demand zone or something to then potentially get long back into this level here would be lovely. Or you can keep holding it into this level here. Now Bitcoin is a risk on asset. What does that mean? When risk is on, when people have got money to put into Bitcoin, when people have got money to put into things. So when the market is stable, things are stable, people are spare money, they're willing to put a risk in the market because there's more stability. Bitcoin does fantastic in risk on environments, and Bitcoin is closely correlated to the S&P 500 as well, and nasdaq. So when you're seeing the stock market fly, naturally you're gonna see Bitcoin kind of following that also. Now if you've seen the stock market fall off a cliff, naturally you're gonna be in a risk off environment. Dollar's probably coming down and stuff as well. There could be loads of numerous issues. Bitcoin tends to follow suit on that as well. So for me, what am I looking at on Bitcoin? I would say from this swing low to this swing high, we are kind of like, we're bullish overall, right? So buyers are always pro trend on Bitcoin. Buyers always are a good opportunity. I would say I'd wait for these lows to get taken out. I'd try and come down to like a 1 hour time frame, see if I can find like a clean zone to potentially get into a long from. I can't really find anything there, to be honest, man. I would probably just, you know what, I'd probably just wait for price to come down here, give some bullish confirmation, and then try and target longs into these structural zones. These zones here is what I'd probably say. But this key level here is a great support level, really good support level, to be honest. Really good support level. That's on the 4 hour time frame. Now if I was to look at Bitcoin on the, let's go 30-minute time frame, yeah, I would say we're clearly bearish intraday. We're clearly bearish, so I would be looking at supply zones to get into shorts. So you got this supply zone right here. Wait for price to come into this level, come into deeper into this key area here, and then you might get confirmation for a buy. So you got opportunity to kind of get into shorts there to get deeper into this key area right here. That's on the M15, M30 time frame. Now if price continues bullish and kind of breaks above this level, then you could say the next level where you could short from possibly looks like the intraday perspective on Bitcoin is so disgusting, isn't it? Wow, it's not clean at all on the M15 or M30, is it? I trade M1, so I might have to look at Bitcoin on the M1. Because this is disgusting price action. Oof. Yeah, this is bad. Wow. Yeah, John, I don't like the look of Bitcoin recently. I don't like the look of Bitcoin recently. Wow. I think that's because the markets have been quite range bound. So you've probably noticed it as well, John. If you look at Forex and stuff like and indices are always bullish, I suppose. But Forex and DXY has been range bound. So it's been kind of choppy the last 4 months, 5 months. It's not really been directional. I think we're going to see the same thing on Bitcoin as well, to be fair. Yeah, we kind of are. Yeah, we kind of are, to be honest. Because on Bitcoin, we ranged here for a few days. We kind of stuck in this range here as well for a few weeks. Yeah, even Bitcoin suffering from the disgusting market conditions we have right now, to be honest, man. Check from daily for fair value gap. Okay. Let's get rid of all of that. You mean this fair value gap right here we could potentially get into shorts from? Or do you mean fair value gaps on the lower side to get filled to go bullish again? I'm just going to turn my screen brightness up a bit because I'm looking a bit dark. Risk on market. Yeah. I go. So basically, exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you looked at my analysis on the DXY, it's kind of pretty much what I said there. We're at this area here where we're at the 98.5 level. I kind of called all of this ages ago. I've been calling it for a while in my Discord and stuff like that. If you want to join the Discord, there's a free link in the chat further up. And I've been kind of calling these levels and stuff like I've called this as a potential resistance level and stuff, which worked out really good, to be fair. But then we had FOMC and stuff like that. Price rallied off of the back FOMC. Then we had GDP come out, 3.8%, massive beat for the economy, massive beat. Obviously, that's going to give a huge push to the upside. So I think, yeah, I mean, you're just going to have to sit and wait and be patient, to be fair, which is a lot of the market. GBPCHF sitting and be patient, EURUSD sitting and being patient. It's NFP week, so we need a lot of patience and stuff. I need to be very resilient because this NFP could be really interesting. If we see poor jobs data, it's just going to give the DXY another leg to the downside. If we see good jobs data, then it's going to shift my bias from being neutral to bearish to more neutral to bullish short term, because we're still cutting rates. We're still seeing really bad inflation. We're still seeing really bad unemployment. Just one NFP data doesn't change anything so drastically. It just gives short term support for the next maybe couple of weeks or something like that. Maybe even a month if you're lucky. But if you get bad NFP data again next month, then it's just going to push the DXY to the downside again, isn't it? So I wouldn't be surprised if you're kind of stuck in a range again. Now, if you look at EURUSD, actually, it wasn't this chart, was it? It's a different chart. Yeah, so if you look at EURUSD on the daily here, very similar to what the DXY was. You're just kind of stuck in this absolutely disgusting zone, broke out of it and come right back in the 0.5 level right here. So I find that rather interesting, to be honest. But yeah, going back to Bitcoin, I think that the best thing is going to be waiting for the 4-hour zones and stuff like that. Probably 1 hour zone would be better to trade, in all honesty. If you see price coming down, taking out these lows, so if you see price coming down, taking out these lows, we're probably going to be in that key area anyway. It doesn't show on the 1 hour time frame. Then you can start thinking about finding that bullish confirmation to the upside. But the thing is, with NFP, a lot of the markets can be range bound until the news is released. So yeah, it's kind of a hard one, to be honest, John. It's a difficult one. NFP week's always a bit tricky. It's always a bit tricky. Guys, if you want me to go over any pairs, just drop it in the chat with the time frame and I'll go over it for you guys. Do me a favor and hit the like button and stuff as well. I like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Safe to stay out, I guess, await confirmation, then make a plan. Exactly, yeah. For me, I trade low time frame. I trade M1 30-second time frame. So for me, it's not that much of an issue. Because you can always kind of find something on M1 a lot of the time. It's just a case of how risky do you want to be on M1. With me, I'm very patient and stuff, so I don't really like to have too much risk exposed, if that makes sense. But yeah, you've got a lot of opportunity on the lower time frame. You just need to know how to navigate it, because it's not easy, that's for sure. So yeah. Any other pairs you want me to go over? Also, if you have any questions about trading plans, psychology, anything like that, let me know, because I'm kind of a psychology king, I suppose. I think my psychology is better. Nas, yeah, you can have a look at Nas, I suppose. What's it called on my broker? US Tech. What time frame? 4 hour again? I'm guessing, yeah. What's the best tip to avoid over trading and FOMO? That's quite easy. How long have you been trading? So obviously we're really bullish on NASDAQ, like really bullish. So obviously 3 years, and you struggle with FOMO and struggle with over trading. Okay, that's interesting. In those 3 years, how many trades have you taken? Rough guess how many trades have you taken in those 3 years? Probably like 1,000 trades, 2,000 trades, millions. Okay, perfect. Why are you getting FOMO when you've taken 1 million trades? Like, you know, they're all, bro, you've took 1 million trades. Why are you getting FOMO, man? There's always gonna be another trade. You know, I think with psychology, the reason I call myself a psychology like mastermind or whatever is because when I come into trading, I chose to understand jumping from strategy, trading very low time frames, etc. Oh, so you've not stuck to a plan, you just kind of willy-wallied everywhere. Got ya. Find something that works, stick to it, back test it. Data is the most important thing. You need to know your win rate, your losing streak, your average trade duration, your average risk reward, your average stop loss size, your average losing streak, your average winning streak, and then your average risk per trade. Once you've back tested and got your data, it's easier for you to follow the trading plan. It's easier for you to stick to the trading plan because you've literally seen the data through back testing. When you're back testing properly, I say properly as in like you're actually analyzing each trade, you're actually taking the trade properly, not like going forward, realizing there's a trade, going back and entering the trade again, like just doing it authentically. You're going to realize patterns in the market. You're going to realize behavioral things in the market. You're going to realize certain times your profit trades are going to be better, certain times are going to be worse, certain days are going to be better, certain days are going to be worse. So backtesting is probably one of the most important things because it gives you the literal, factual, undeniable data for the edge that you want to trade. That is going to give you confidence to say, In a month, I can take 40 trades as per my trading plan. Why am I gonna have FOMO? If that's not a good trade, leave it. I'll probably see another one in 30 minutes. Now, if your strategy is more like mine, where I trade M1, I trade 30-second chart, but I don't trade a lot. I aim for about 2 to 4 trades a month, just because I target really high risk reward. But out of those 2 to 4 trades, I'm picking the absolute best quality setups. And with those trades, I know the trade duration, the stop loss size, the average TP, the average trade duration, what times the average entry, what times the average TP, what times price do reversals. All these things happen when you've really experienced the asset that you're trading and you've really understood your strategy, John. So you're only going to know that through looking at it from a data analytical perspective. Because it's easy for you to enter trades, but it's hard for you to remember the facts behind it, the statistics behind it. Statistics are going to stop you from having FOMO, because you're going to know in your brain there's a 1,000,000% chance you're going to catch another trade. Why chase that trade? You're going to have that when you see the data in front of your eyes. Now, over trading, that seems to me like a separate issue. Do you trade prop firms or something? I'm going to analyze NAS anyway. 4-hour time frame, bullish. I mean, bro, just buy NAS. I mean, it's like, just buy NAS, bro. The only level we have a support level right here on the 4-hour time frame. You know what, let me just draw that out. I'd have said it from here, to be honest. Yep, agree. I had some success, but the backtesting doesn't have the same experience as live trading. Yeah, it doesn't, because a lot of people don't take it seriously. Yes, agreed. Had some. NAS is always risky to short. And more about finding the dips. Yeah, because it's an indices. Stocks and indices are known to be bullish and stuff, to be honest, man. So it's best for you to short on a lower time frame, M5, M15 shorts, just to like levels where you want to buy from. Just short to those levels are a good idea. But in terms of 4-hour and daily, don't short it. Bad idea. You're going against the trend on a high time frame. Really risky and probably a stupid thing to do. For example, yeah, if you trade supply demand, look at this demand zone right here. Price tagged into it and it gave a bullish candle. If you were trying to short past this level, bro, this level is a 382 pullback from this low to this high. It's a 382 pullback level, and you got a demand zone sat right there. So that's going to be a bad zone to try and short past. You could short into that zone for sure. Yeah, 100% makes sense there. But then when you come into this, go to the lower time frame, M15, M5, 1H, look for bullish confirmation, then close out your short position, hop into the longs, target back into these highs again. But you can't do this type of stuff on the H4 because you're so restricted, because your SL size and your risk reward and stuff like that. What sort of win have you gone with? What are mainly targeting? So in my win is anywhere from 50 to 65%, and my risk reward is anywhere from 10. Okay, I manage my risk reward from 10 to 20R. I have hit 62R. I have hit 46R live on my YouTube, live streamed everything in front of people, live analysis, live entry, live TP, live partials, with my regulated broker, everything, you know, all the balance floated, all of that stuff. I've shown it live. So I think in the last month I'm up 110R. In the last 4 weeks, I think I'm up 110R just from 2 trades or 3 trades, because one was 62R, one was 46R, one was 18R. I took 2 break evens. I took a loss last week on GJ, even though it's a completely valid trade. It's fine, it is what it is. So in the last 4 to 6 weeks, my win rate is probably more like 80%. Yeah, sure, bro, I don't mind. But let's see if I can find anything on the lower time frame. If you wanted to short, bro, you could kind of get into shorts here. But you know, okay, let me say something to you from how I view the market. If you're bullish, supply zones are going to fail. This zone's going to fail. This zone's going to fail. Even this zone's going to fail because we're bullish, right? So you could trade these supply zones on M5. So for example, if we come into this supply zone here on M5, yeah, so let's just say we come up here, we get a reaction, price pulls back into an intraday demand zone, you could take along from there. And if we've built a channel, you could target 50% of that channel, if not more. Now with me, I trade data, so everything is data driven for my backtesting. My TP, my SL, my trade duration, everything is so data driven. The only thing that isn't data driven is the way I enter the trade, the subjectivity perspective. But the minute I've taken that trade, boom, emotions are turned off. I'm like a robot. Even on that day, I caught the 62R, which is my biggest trade ever. I was emotional. I was like a cucumber, cool as a cucumber, not emotional, not over the moon. Just yeah, cool. It is what it is. I caught a trade, no problem. That's it. The edge is working in strategy. Yeah, of course I do. I don't take a full 62R trade on M1. It's kind of stupid to do that. I have partials and stuff like that. Like, you know, certain level I take partials, certain data points I take TP1 is partial, TP2 is partial, and then I leave a runner just to maximize that trade and stuff like that. But normally I cap my percent. I normally cap my profits. That 46R trade and that 62R trade, I don't think that would happen again, because normally I have data driven points, and normally the data driven points are the averages. So the 46 and the 62R, we know trading conditions, you can get in a trade, it could go flying past your TP level and you just get lucky. Those things happen, but they're not the average. So I target averages. Average TP is around 10 to 20R. So let me just show you some of the trades. But let's see if we can find anything on here first, man. I would say a nice level to get long on the NAS is this level right here. Beautiful demand zone. 24.4 to 24.3. That looks like a nice level, targeting this high, targeting this high. That looks really good actually, bro. Let me see if I can refine it. Nah, not really. I'll take it from the same level. Yeah, that looks like a nice zone to long from actually right here. Put stops just below the low there. Targeting back into these highs on the M15 time frame. It's about 3R. If you wanted to be really cheeky, you could put it at around a third of that level, hoping you get triggered and kind of put that into 4.5R. But you never know what the market does. For me, when I do my analysis like this, it's for other people. So my approach is very different to how I trade, because the way I trade, most people can't understand it. So when I analyze pairs, I analyze them from a different approach to the market. So which trades did I take? That would be a sick trade. Yeah, it's okay for me, I suppose. I mean, I target high RR anyway. So for me, anything less than 10R is not even worth my time. I'd rather just sit and wait. So okay, here's the loss I took. It was on... No, it wasn't the loss. Yes. Okay. I wanted to take this trade, but there's an invalidation on GJ. On this Wednesday, if we go back onto multi-market view, I don't know if I can do it on this or not, but if I want to do replay, does it do on all of the pairs? No, it doesn't, does it? No. Okay. Let me just go on M30 and show you then, and you can kind of tell. This was the 24th, right? So, 24th. 24th is disgusting. Okay. So, this trade here, I was live on my YouTube. You can see the live stream, everything like that. On the 24th, the live stream. I seen price come there, I seen everything, but we were bearish on GU, bearish on EU, kind of bearish on GBPCHF, and we were bearish on yen. Now on the 24th, we were bullish on the DXY. I seen this exact setup and I was literally thinking, should I take it or not? And I didn't take it because the markets are all bearish, yeah? GJ should not be bearish if GU is bearish. That does not make sense. Yen and CHF are opposites to the DXY. Why are they all moving in one direction? That to me is one of those freak incidents where the market does something stupid and I was like, I'm not going to trade that, no problem. It only gave 9R partials because that's my data point anyway. So it would have given 9R partials. TP on this would have been nearly 20R. Yeah, TP2 would have been 17.7R. And then if it hit TP3 would have been 25R pretty much. So I missed that trade out. Yeah, it is what it is. These things happen. And then I took a loss. Where did I take? Right here. It's hilarious. Yeah, as you can see my entry right there. It took me out, then flew to my level. So this would have been a 12.2R trade. But obviously I got taken out by the market, which happens. These things happen, you know, it literally happens. Completely valid trade. I would take this trade day and day and day again. Even if I got slapped, I would take it because that's valid for my strategy. That's completely valid for my strategy. The invalid zone I drew out completely failed. I called the market live, bro. Honestly, like I called the market live on my live stream on the M1 on the 30-second time frame, and all the zones I call get hit. Literally. The only thing is, for me to enter into a trade, I'm very strict. Nah, that was just the strategy working. That's all. That's just the strategy working. I target very volatile, very high pace, quick moves on M1. Right, that would have been 9R partials in 1 hour and 4 minutes. That's a nice trade. And let me show one of the ones I've taken then. So did I take a loss here? I think I did take a loss there. Oh no, or was that the day I was testing? That's my trade copy. I think that's my trade copy is messing up. I trade M1, so my lot sizes are huge, but my risk is small. Because I target high risk reward. So yeah, here's the 62R trade I caught. Tuesday the 2nd of September. So Tuesday the 2nd. Oh my god, it's been about a month. Wow. Tuesday 2nd of September. I missed this trade because I woke up too late, but that was a nice trade. 24R, a literally beautiful trade. And the entry was at 7:38. I started my live stream at 7:40 or 7:45, so I just missed that. That was 24R as per data points again. But that was a long trade because it's like 5 hours long. I don't like holding that long. I normally like holding a trade for about an hour and a half to 2 hours maximum. So that was an exceptionally long trade. Where are you? The second. Here we go. Yeah, hard to wake up from. Yeah. Our trade London opens. I normally be on the charts for about 7:15. Before all of this, I was waking up for about 7, getting on the charts for 7:30, 7:35, and now I'm starting to get on the charts for 7:15, just in case I see one of those moves. Just in case. So yeah, here was the trade anyway. 62.5R, 2.5 pip SL, and I caught almost the full move, 156 pips. So you can see the entry there, I've got my FX book as well with my broker. My broker is it doesn't let me show it, man. I have to exit out of it. My broker is IC Markets. It's a demo account because it's linked to my trade copier. So it's not an account you can manipulate. It's not anything you can like say to your broker or add 50k on that trade. You can't do anything because it's IC Markets, a regulated broker. So you can't even manipulate any of these figures or anything like that. But on this account, I'm up. It's supposed to be 108,900, I think, or almost 109,000. So I'm supposed to be up 9%. But obviously, remember that day where there's like 5-6 trades because the trade copier, so it's like $300-400 loss there from the trade copier, just trying to figure out why is it not triggering trades and stuff. But that was a synchronization issue with TradingView. When you log into the broker, it didn't sync for some reason. So yeah. Anyway, so you got that trade there, and then you've got EURUSD, which I think I made 42 or on. Where was that? This was a break-even trade on EURUSD. You can see the entry there. You can see the break-even right there. You see that right there, break-even. Where was the short on this bad boy, or was it a long? I think it was a short, wasn't it? Why is it not showing? Has it lost the trade? Yeah, it was a long. I'm sure it was a long. Yes, this one here. But for some reason it doesn't show the trade. Why is that? I'm not sure. Have I clicked out of the broker or something? Yeah, the account's right. But yeah, I caught this trade anyway, 46.7. I don't know why it's not showing my entries on there, man. It should show my entry. Let me go on this one here. Does it show one here? No, it doesn't show it. That's weird. Huh. I don't know why it's done that. Can't figure out why it's done that. And then on my other account, because basically in August I set up this new account so I could do my track record on what's it called again? My FX book. So I got a few other trades on another account as well before that. But now I'm counting my track record from August this year to August next year. That's gonna be my 1 year proof of like proof of trades and stuff like that. But yeah, that was another good trade. I held this one for hours. I held this one for absolute hours. So that was from 7:30 all the way till 8 hours. The longest trade I've ever done. Longest trade I've ever done. So yeah, that's pretty much it, to be fair, man. I don't trade too much. I just try and aim for the best trades and stuff. A lot of the time it's the case where I'm looking at EU, GU gives a trade. I'm looking at GJ, GBPCHF gives a trade. No problem. So with M1 you miss a lot of trades. You have to accept it. It is what it is. You can't catch every single trade in the market's moving so fast on the M1. So I'm okay with that. I don't really have a problem because I don't have FOMO, because my mentality is I know I'm going to catch another trade. I know I'm getting another 40, 50R, 20R. Why rush? Why chase the market? That's for me. That's why I don't get FOMO. And the point is that you should kind of get your mentality set there as well, that you need to look at your data, do your back testing, say to yourself, right, these trades happen this many times. I shouldn't get FOMO. I shouldn't have kind of that eagerness to trade, because with me, like when I trade, it's a job. So I just turn up, do my job, I go. I don't practice trading all day. I don't read books all day. I'm past that level now. I'm at the level now where I'm profitable. I'm becoming consistent. I'm a funded trader officially. I'm just waiting for the next trade to get a payout. Why do I need to be absorbed in trading? Just do your job and go home. That's it. take a trade, take a loss, take a TP, take a break even. That's it, you're done for the day. Next day, brand new day. Forget yesterday's losses, forget yesterday's TPs. Like, you know, when I caught that 46 odd and stuff like that, next day was normal. I wasn't bothered. I was like, yeah, I've caught 45 or yeah, I've caught 60 or it doesn't really matter, because the next day is still the same. Yeah. The only reason I do live streaming is because, one, if I make a mistake, I can look on the live stream, look at my reactions, did I do something wrong, review myself, and it shows M1 can be traded, because a lot of people say you can't trade M1. So when I say I trade M1 and I'm having a lot of success with it, a lot of them call me, say I'm chatting BS. If I'm doing it live with the regulated broker and I've passed prop firms and I've got payout certificates saying I've passed prop firms, and I'm a funded trader, and I've got a MyFX book there with the regulated broker, and I'm taking the trade live on YouTube, I'm doing more authenticity than any of these gurus. And a lot of my viewers, because it's only a few viewers, I don't really have many viewers and stuff, like they know that I don't lie or chat BS or anything. If you go into the Discord, I've got a tab there of all my trades and all my floating balances, all my floating TPs and stuff, because I manage like 600, like nearly 600k worth of accounts, so the balance B is insane, to be honest. Like I've been floating balance 30k, 35k floating balance, and I'm just like, okay, cool, I'm not really bothered. Nah, bro, I don't sell courses. One thing I've realized is a lot of scammers sell courses, so I don't want to do that. And I'll be honest, John, I know for a fact most people can't trade M1 because their psychology isn't like mine. How many people can sit there, do in 2 weeks, yeah, do 110 R, and then just be like, yeah, it's fine, I'm not really bothered. Like, no one can do that. Only a very small amount of people can do that. And because of that, I find it hard that I can teach the technicals, but the tradings always comes back to the same thing. I've traded 1 second. Yeah, you crazy, bro. You're crazy. That's coming from me. You're crazy, bro. But psychology is the biggest thing. And for me, it doesn't matter what strategy you trade, bro. Head, shoulders, support, resistance, 4-hour, fundamental, technical. It's all psychological. If you can't handle psychology, M1 is going to annihilate you, bro. Absolutely annihilate you. There's a couple people who've come to my live stream, yeah, and they have a similar understanding to what I do, and even they're like, bro, we can't have the patience you have. I can't teach patience. I can't teach you how to be disciplined. Either you are or you're not. I can guide you on how to control your discipline and stuff like that, but I can't make you disciplined. You have to be disciplined within yourself. And a lot of it comes down to understanding what is trading. What does trading require of you? Do you understand the job? Are you committed to the job? Are you willing to work hard? Are you willing to stomach the losses? Are you willing to like sit there on the charts? Like for me, bro, I've not took a trade in about that GJ loss like a week ago is the last trade I took, and I've been on my live stream every single day, New York session, London session, looking hours and not taking a trade. Just sitting there and not taking a trade. Most people can't do that. You get FOMO. Can you sit there for 4 hours and say the trade's not happening? Fine, I'm gonna sit and watch. People can't do it, bro. Bro, I know, man. I'm serious. My strat was on looking at reversals, then scalp based on 1 second with Africa, but that's crazy. You stare at the charts all day. It's not even resilience, it's discipline. Discipline and patience, bro. Discipline and patience. Like, the Discord's free. Go into the Discord, bro. Ask the guys in the Discord whatever you want to ask them. They're just regular viewers like yourself that come to the stream. I got 2 friends in there. But it's only a small Discord of like 7-8 people, and most of them come to my live stream. So if you have any questions, go to the Discord, ask whatever you want to ask, bro. Like, yeah, I don't know what else to say. But I don't really think I'd offer a course, just because I don't think that if I was to teach it, I would teach it on the M15. And then if I was to teach on M15, you're going to get 3, 4, 5 R, not 10, 15, 20. And you know what people are like. They want what you do, but they're not me. So I can't teach them how I'm patient. I can't teach them how I'm disciplined. That's the issue. So I was thinking about, do I teach on the M15 time frame where it gives people a lot more time, more easier for them to analyze the pair, you know, stuff like that. But then I was thinking I could do it, but then they're just gonna like, you can't please everyone. There's always gonna be haters. There's always gonna be people who aren't happy. Not long actually, bro. Not long at all. I've never blew an account. I started trading in April 2024. And I got funded about 3-4 weeks ago. But I've only been trading, so I traded April, May, June. I didn't trade July, didn't trade August, didn't trade September, traded October, so 4 months so far. Didn't trade November, traded December, didn't trade January, traded February, didn't trade March because it's Ramadan, so I was fasting, so I couldn't wake up on time. Traded April, May, June, July. So I've been trading for about 9-10 months because I took about 6 months off of the charts because it was a good idea. Don't trade Trump's inauguration, don't trade the elections. I didn't trade summer leading up to elections. So for me, a lot of it has been understanding the job, having a logical approach to the markets. For me, I know that I don't have enough data for summer, so I didn't trade last summer because I started in April 2024. So I didn't trade last summer. All my friends blew accounts in July, August, September. All my friends blew numerous accounts. I've not blew a single account. I did blow one, but I was up 20% on it, and there was a consistency account, and it's a 5k that I got for free. So I just risked 4%, the daily loss, and it hit SL. I didn't really care, but I've not really lost any accounts. And then this summer I traded because the volume was high during this summer because of all the Trump's, you know, all the Trump stuff that he's got going on. So the volume was a bit better. And then I got funded not long ago. So yeah, man, it's okay, to be fair. I'm just waiting for my next trade where I can get a payout. I'm gonna take that trade live on YouTube, obviously, unless I trade in New York. New York I trade only in the Discord. There you can sit with me, ask questions and stuff in the Discord, and I'll take time out to answer your questions, and it's a bit more hands-on. But that's just because it's easy for me to engage with people in Discord if I'm live streaming. So yeah, that's just the plan. Get one trade, one payout, one trade, one payout, one trade, one payout. I'm not looking to do like 60-70k worth of trades in a single hit. I'm just trying to aim between 2 and 4% per month, which is basically 1 TP. Instant accounts are a scam. Don't go near them. Instant accounts are the worst. Don't go near them. Don't go near One Step. Don't go near instant accounts. Don't go near trailing drawdown. Don't go near... That's pretty much it. Because instant accounts have a consistency rule, and it's like 20%. So you need a really high win rate but low risk reward. Yeah, I like conditions. Conditions are perfect, but instant ones are disgusting. Normal 2-step account, normal daily drawdown, normal risk management, normal rules are perfect. Bro, I love prop firms because I follow rules and I'm disciplined. All the people who fail prop firms are the ones who want discipline and they can't follow rules. It's simple. If you can't pass a prop firm, bro, you shouldn't be trading. Because the point is, if you pass a prop firm, it's not for them, it's for you. I can follow these rules. I made 15%. No, stage 2s are different. Most prop firms that are reputable don't have consistency on 2 steps. By the way, guys, if there's anyone else in the chat, feel free to drop a comment about what pair you want me to have a look at and what time frame, and then I'll go over it for you guys if there's anyone else here. No, prop firms aren't a scam. Instant fundeds are a scam. You just have to find the reputable prop firms. I've got numerous accounts with numerous different prop firms. I'm diversified. I should be funded 600k, but I'm not, because the trade copier, as I was started using it, I made a couple glitches and stuff where some accounts, you know, the partials weren't taken the right way, blah blah blah. So some of my accounts are funded, some aren't. It's fine. I've got numerous accounts in phase 2, 1 TP, and I'm gonna get funded on those. I got a few accounts in phase 1 which are in around break even-ish. 1 TP, they'll get past phase 1. So yeah, it's just like when you're managing loads of accounts with a trade copier, it's a bit hard, especially on M1, because I've got about 10 accounts, and because I've got nearly 600k and 10 accounts and a trade copier and I trade M1, it's very difficult to manage, and it's very fast paced and quite difficult to manage. So I have had a couple little niggly issues. Yeah, everyone's got their own thing, bro. You just got to figure out what kind of works for you and what keeps you disciplined and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But I'm always there to being a psychology mentor and stuff like that. When I say mentor, like just providing free value and stuff like that in psychology. But for me to understand your problems, I need to spend time with you. I need to talk to you, find out what you're doing wrong, what is the issue, how do you behave. Trading psychology is very hands-on, because I need to learn about your tendencies, your issues, the way you view the market, the way you view the job, your personal situation. Are you employed? Are you not employed? Do you have family to look after? Do you not have family to look after? All these things play a factor on the way you perceive the markets and the way you interact with trading. For me, for example, I don't trade for the money. The money is just a bonus. The main reason I trade is so I don't have to deal with corporate jobs, because I've worked in corporate quite a lot, and in corporate there's a lot of politics and drama and stuff, and that's the main reason I do trading, is to get away from all of that. So the reason I trade isn't even related to the money aspect. I literally don't care, which is why when I'm flirting $30,000-$40,000, you see that I'm not really that bothered, because I'm not doing it for the money. It's more the case of I am my own boss. No one tells me what to do. I can work whenever I want, not wherever, I suppose, because this has to be on my computer. That's why I trade. So because of that, if I have a day of loss where I've lost like 5k 10k, it doesn't really matter, because I'm not there for the money. I'm there for the freedom. I'm there for the fact that no one's going to dictate to me what to do, what not to do. And I understand the job. I understand what trading is. A lot of people don't understand, John. Trading is a job where you're risking money to make money. That means there will be losses. The market's going to do what it's got to do. You just have to be on the right side of the market. If you're on the wrong side of the market, you have to accept the loss. If you can't accept the loss, you can't trade, because that's literally the main point of the job, is to accept there's going to be losses. There's going to be zones where you want to take a trade and price just swerved your entry, or like you got tagged out in break even or SL and then it flew in your direction. The markets are going to be range bound for a lot of the time. You might lose quite a bit of money in the trading game whilst you're trying to build profitability. If you don't understand all of this stuff and accept it, bro, why are you trading? You're just gambling. Go casino, man. Go blackjack. Put 50 on, hit on 17. Like, make the dealer go bust. It's easier. Go the roulette. Put everything on black. Like, you're gonna have more chance doing that than you are trading. Because trading's hard, because there's a psychological perspective to it. Whereas with people, they don't treat it like that. They treat it like gambling. What you said already shows red flags, because you said I'm out of 95. I'm very determined. I'm determined to beat the trading. It's not okay. When you're trading, who do you think you're trading against? No, I mean you're trading against yourself, bro. You're trading against yourself, and what I mean by that is you're trading against your own urges to get FOMO. You're trading against your own urges to your own. This is what I mean. You're trading against your own psychology, literally. You know, in the last 6 months, yeah, I've only made about 3 or 4 mistakes, and they were valid mistakes. But I've never gone against my trading plan. I've never gone against my edge. I've just made mistakes because I didn't see something, because M1's so fast paced, and I allow myself that leniency because I accept M1 has issues. But I have never deviated from my trading plan in the last 6 months. Bearing in mind, I've only been trading for about 10 months. So you need to be seriously disciplined, John. You need to really understand who are you as a person, what are the problems you have as an individual, and you need to sit there and say to yourself, these are my problems, can I really fix them or not? If I can't fix them, I can't trade. It's better I don't trade. I'm going to lose money, I'm going to hurt myself financially, I'm going to put myself in a bad situation. Trading isn't for me. If you can sit there and say, right, these are my problems, I think I can do it, I think I can, you know, control my ego, control my greed, because a lot of people have greed in the market, and when you get taken at stop loss and price flies in your direction, say the market did what it did, my analysis was right, my entry wasn't, that's okay. You need to perceive the market like that. For me, never have I ever said the market took me out. Never have I said that. I've said the market's done what it did. I was too early in the entry, I got taken out, but that's okay because my strategy has a losing streak and it has a win rate, meaning it's not 100%, meaning I'm gonna take losses, meaning there's gonna be a few losses because I trade M1. I accept that. If that trade was valid and I take a loss, I am completely happy with that. Happy. Whereas most people, they aren't happy. The answer is, why did the market take me out for? Why did I take a L for? The market took me out and went in my direction. The market stop punted me. Bro, you're on a demo account. If you traded a live account, you think your $10 risk is going to affect a $630 billion EURUSD, which is $640 billion in movement of price every single day in EURUSD, and you think your $10 is going to make a difference? Like, come on, bro. Unless you're doing $200, $300, $400 million worth of a trade, you're not moving the markets whatsoever. The market's doing what it does. You need to learn what it does and benefit from what it does. If you can't do that, that's fine. You're not a trader. If you can do that and you take losses, accept that it's part of the game. It's simple. It's really, really simple. But people over confuse it. Yeah, I agree. I'm okay if I get hit a stop loss that's planned. I'll get into revenge. Yeah, I agree. I'm okay if I get hit in a stop loss that's planned. That leads to exactly, revenge trading. Why are you revenge trading for, bro? Like, are you trying to beat the guys who've been trading for 30-40 years? Are you trying to beat the quants and stuff like that? John, you're just John. John is not beating quants. John is not beating institutions. John is not beating 30-40-year-old trading vets. You know what I mean? John just needs to be the best version of himself. That's all. As a trader, that's it. You just need to be the best version of yourself as a trader. Just be profitable and just take that profitability. You don't need to be better than quants. You don't need to be better than institutions. You just need to be good enough where you can make money from the market. That's all. All strategies work, bro. Heads and tails, flipping the swinging teacups, back flipping zebras, whatever they call these stupid strategies, bro. All of them work. All of them work. It's the psychology that just makes it financially viable or not. Nah, man, when I say beat the market, I'm just saying basically cracking the code. Turtle soup. Yeah, all these stupid names with back flipping zebra, the gorilla swing off a monkey bar, like all these crazy strategy names I have. Honestly, I don't really care. Like ICT, all these things, for me, I don't really care about any of these strategies. If you make money from the market, perfect. That's all that matters, bro. Back flipping zebra, bloody gorilla on the monkey bars, flipping fish gulping, or I don't know whatever bloody strategies they have, man. But point being, a lot of it comes down to just like, you know, being disciplined and stuff like that. But as I said, John, everyone's their own person. I've kind of like reached where I am now. I coded something yesterday, the 96% win rate, bro. See, the win rate to me doesn't matter. You know, the win rate, mine is between 50 and 65%. But I don't care. I care more about the losing streak. So the losing streak and the risk management in line with the losing streak, so eventually I'm profitable. I don't care if my win rate is 20%, 30%, 40%, 60%, 70%. I don't really care. All I care is the losing streak and the risk I can put in line with that, and the risk reward, because the risk reward is so big, it's going to cover the losses anyway. But yeah, that's interesting, bro. Yeah. So ultimately, that's all it comes down to, is just you being disciplined. Trading's very simple. It's very, very easy. Now I am where I am. Now I see the market with the level of clarity I do, which is enough for me to obviously come on YouTube and do live trading and stuff like that in front of everyone. All I can say is trading is not hard. It's actually quite easy. Once you've got your edge and you just follow your edge, that's it. If you can't follow your edge, bro, then there's something wrong with you psychologically, literally. I know this is going to make me millions of dollars. I know this is going to make me a millionaire, but I don't want to do that. Why? Because I want to make money faster. But you know that's the data. You know that's the strategy that's going to make you millions. So why are you going against it for? You see what I'm trying to say? That's why backtesting is the most important thing, because that's what gives you the data, the proof, the evidence, and that's what you use to become profitable. But if you know that's going to get you rich and you go against it, I'm sorry, you're a drug addict. You're a drug addict. You're looking for highs, bro. You're looking for like highs and, you know, that gambling feeling. Let's go casino. Put $100 on blackjack. You've got 14. Dealer's got 14. You're going to be like, hit. You get 18. Dealer's got 18. You're going to be like, I'm going to hit again. You're being a drug addict, bro. Really, you're being a drug addict. Trading's the same. But right, I've been here for a while anyway. No one else has turned up for me to go over any of the pairs. So I am gonna call it a day because it's nearly 8 PM. So I'm gonna go chill out and stuff now. But as I said, one second. One minute. Dopamine hits, yeah, cool, bro. It was really great. Dropping gems, all for free, bro, because I don't gatekeep anything. I don't, because the thing is, I do me, you do you, in it. I'm not gonna gatekeep anything because there's no point me doing that. If I can help people become better traders, yeah, why am I not gonna help people become better traders? I want that. I want people to do better and stuff like that. Get out of that poverty, get out of that crappy 9 to 5 and stuff. So I've got no issues with that at all. So yeah, but anyway, the Discord's there and stuff. If you want to hop in there, my social media and stuff, you can obviously follow all of that too. 1 second, let me just where are you, buddy? Where are you? Yeah, it's a journey. Hope you get more subs. Yeah, it's not even really about subs. It's just I want to get enough people here to see me trade, to say he is authentic. He's not actually lying. Because if I live stream and no one comes to my streams to know, like, no one can verify what I'm doing, then it's kind of difficult. That's why, like, if I do live streams and stuff, you can watch everything and stuff like that. And there's a Discord there as well. Then you can say, well, there's 100 people in my live stream, 100 people can verify, yeah, I've done it. They're all in the Discord. You can see them coming to the live stream. You can see them coming 1 year ago and that they stuck around, and they can say, yeah, he's consistently done it for the span of a year, etc, etc, etc. That's all this is about. Just to say proof that, yeah, you can trade M1. And that's pretty much it. Oh, you just joined, awesome. But if you go into the My Trades channel, you can see all of the trades I've taken, all the entries, all the floating balance and stuff like that. Even from way back when. Yes, exactly. It's journaling, innit? Yeah, exactly. But it's live journaling, so it's the case you can't even blag it. But I'm most active on X and Discord. Mainly X is where I'm most active on posting trades and stuff like that. I'm not so good on Instagram because you can't use Instagram on your computer to post trades and stuff. It's quite crappy. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for your time, John. Have you got any more questions before I quit the stream? Oh, what country are you from? Nah, bro, I'm good. Yeah. Just be careful the NFP week, bro. I'm Egyptian. Wallah. Anta Musrino. لا أنا ولدت بريطانيا ولكن وصولي من باكستان أخي. أنا أتكلم العربية فصحى. Alhamdulillah, I know like English, يعني شوي فصحى يعني I don't speak it. What type of Egyptian who this is? What type of Egyptian? Are you Muslim? Because I know in Egypt there's a lot of like Christians and stuff like that, you know. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Alhamdulillah, mashallah, assalamu alaikum habibi. تشرفت بمعرفتك أخي. السلام عليكم bro. صح أنا أعرف يعني how I can say, man. Egyptians are they're okay, man. They're very funny people. خفيفة الزول صح. خفيفة الزول. المصريين خفيفة الزول صح. Yeah, Egyptians are funny. Yeah. You know, now that you're here, this is even better. You know, one other reason why Pakistan. أنا اسمي باشي. أنا ولدت بريطانيا ولكن أصولي من باكستان. يعني my parents come to the UK. I was born in the UK, but my parents are from Pakistan. But I'm learning Arabic Fusha, and I know a bit of Spanish, Japanese, Farsi. What are the languages? I'm learning a bit of Swahili. Alhamdulillah, I know a few languages, bro. Alhamdulillah. أنا ذكي جدا. Okay, yeah. لا يا لهوي. So another reason why I'm streaming and stuff is really because now that obviously we've established you're a Muslim brother, yeah. There's a few YouTubers who do social media and they're Muslim and they're very popular, but they're scammers. So I want to show the people you can be Muslim, you can be trader, but still not be Haywan. You can be yani halal, yeah. So inshallah, that's like another thing I want to do, because there's a few brothers who trade, yeah, but they do scams, they sell courses, they do all these dodgy things and stuff like that. They're British, innit? And they do YouTube and they're popular and stuff like that. And one of them's got his own podcast where he brings loads of traders on there and stuff like that. He does interviews with traders, very popular person, you probably know who I'm talking about. You got another one who does the same thing. He's also like a brother and stuff like, yeah, he's one of them. And then obviously when these people, everyone knows they're Muslim, and then they do scams and stuff like that, yani, it makes us look like bad people, sah. It makes us look like untrustworthy people, sah. So I don't like it when, like, whenever I see like anyone from the Ummah who is like popular or anything like that, if I see them do something not good, yani, it makes me angry, because other people are looking, you know. Many people are looking at the Ummah saying, oh look, you do this, you do that, you know. There's kind of a this type of issue as well, a bit more political. Well, the one who does the interviews, he made a prop firm, scammed loads of people, and he made millions. The other one, he sells courses, and he sells courses for like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. And he claims I do live trading, but you cannot find any live videos anywhere. He trades M1 as well, very much like me. But with me, I actually do live trading, like real live trading. And then he has another friend who's really popular. They're all from the UK. I think this other one's Yemeni or Sudanese, I forgot. Yemeni or Sudanese. Yeah, I think some people, you know, trading is not easy. They're just making money in the other ways, you know what I'm saying? And he had loads of scammers on his channel, all these popular scammers, promoting them and stuff like that. And then obviously he's gonna get money when they get promoted and stuff. So it's just like scam and stuff like that. Astaghfirullah. I don't like yani, I'm trying to focus on deen, sah. I'm trying to focus on deen. I'm trying to focus on like haqq. So when I see these people, it makes me so sad. Yeah, exactly. The rizq is written. Obviously, you have to have your niyyah, like your intention and your focus, yeah? So yeah, but yallah, I'm gonna end the stream now. Nice to meet you anyway, bro. Tasharaftu bima'rifatik, akhi. Yeah. These guys are selling 6K courses. All that's what I'm talking about, bro. Like, it's... Bro, for me, I'm only gonna teach Syrian, Palestinian, Yemeni and Sudanese for free. Absolutely for free. I will sit with them, I'll put them on my lap, I'll teach them how to trade, I'll buy them the first prop firm, everything, man. But it's only for those people. I wouldn't do it for other people, just because like the Ummah is doing nothing for them. The Ummah is doing nothing for Palestine. The Ummah is doing nothing for Syria. The Ummah is doing nothing for Yemen. The Ummah is doing nothing for Sudan. If I can teach them how to make money, then inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be happy with it, bro. Yeah, bro, likewise. See you on the next inshallah, bro. Great to hear you on Deen also. I'm trying to be on Deen, trying. It's hard too, but I'm trying. Anyway, nice to meet you, bro. I'll probably see you tomorrow then. I stream London 7:15, so if I don't see you, then it's fine, no problem, bro. Exactly, helping others is what it's all about. Exactly. Okay, assalamu alaikum, thanks for coming, guys. If you have any questions, drop it in the chat, or comment on the video after the stream ends, and I'll answer any questions you guys might have. Like, share, subscribe, all that cool stuff. Be careful, because this week is NFP, so price is going to be a bit crazy in all honesty. So yeah, just kind of be mindful of the markets and be patient with the markets. Thank you everyone. Assalamu alaikum, peace out, bye.